めんどくせえな。もうこの動画は何回も撮るな。この動画は4回撮ったけど、毎回撮ってもう好きじゃないんだからもう1回撮る。うざいんだけど。Actually, maybe I should slip into something slightly more presentable for a video like this. Ah, that's a bit better. Alright, so in this video I'm going to tell you how exactly I learned Japanese. And then I'm going to try and implement those techniques that I used before to try and learn a third language. And then hopefully record the progress. So before I start the video, I'm going to give a brief rundown. I say that as if I'm some sort of scholar, but my academic background is almost non-existent. So at this rate, I'm pretty much just a monkey with the ability to read. However, almost all of my language learning was achieved by myself. You have to remember that while I was doing this, similar to now, I had multiple hobbies, a job, and still found time to hang out with friends. Hanging out with friends.
Why is there so much shadow on my face?
While still studying, so you don't have an excuse. I'll start with the summary for those people that just want to know the answer and then leave, which is, for 6 months I studied by myself at my computer. I would learn a phrase from online, take that phrase, go to a language exchange website and use that phrase. Whatever the reply was, I would break it down, write it into a book and use a dictionary to try and translate what it was that they said myself, and then write it down and boom, I've made progress. I have now learned a new phrase or sentence. That was the majority of my learning. So if you'd like to learn the tricks that I used to learn my second language, then follow along with this recorded process. You could actually probably apply these techniques to literally any language, but I'm going to be choosing Chinese, because I feel like I'd like to go back to Asia, and that's quite a useful language, I suppose. It's the widest spoken Asian language. It would be lying if I said this was the very start of my learning process. So what I currently know in Chinese is 我不会说中文，我是英国人，对不起，谢谢. And that's it, pretty much. So the first thing you want to do really is find a language exchange website or app. I personally prefer the apps because you can use them anywhere, but for the sake of the video we'll use the website as well. So this is actually one of the websites that I've used before. I just had to alter it a little bit to want to use it for Chinese instead. And what I actually did yesterday night, which I didn't actually record, is I messaged 4 people. Actually I messaged this person a long time ago. This is back when I gave it a go before, but we ended up just pretty much talking in English. But here we have the 3 people that I messaged yesterday. 2 of them have apparently seen my message but not replied. Brilliant. But the girl did. So let's click on here and see what it says. So I started the sentence with some stuff that I didn't actually write down after I'd written it before, so I'm not actually entirely sure what I said myself. So I study Chinese, but I can't speak Chinese. That's what it says. That's how you translate it. But I don't remember how to pronounce any of the characters. I only remember that because of my little knowledge of like the Chinese characters and stuff. But then after that, because the reason I messaged this person in the first place is because they're also learning Japanese, which is, you know, useful for me. So then I said, so why are you in the middle of studying Japanese? I'm currently studying Chinese, but I'm much better at Japanese, is what I said. And she replied with this: I can teach you Chinese because I want to study in Japan. But now my Japanese is not very good, so I just can only communicate with you in English. I will trouble you in the future to teach me Japanese. Gomen, dozo yoroshiku onegaishimasu. What a brilliant start. So we have someone that has replied to me, but they haven't actually used any Chinese in their reply. To pretty much explain to you how I usually do it, because I didn't actually get a Chinese reply, what we're going to do is we're actually going to study what it is that I said to her originally, because I don't actually remember how to pronounce this. So I'm going to go ahead and write it down. So after you write it down, you want to come to a foreign dictionary, which you can use to, as you can see there, I put in a bunch of random words. Yeah, so that's war. So that the pronunciation for that was correct, so I'll write that in my book. War. But then because I'm not entirely sure of the other ones, I'm going to copy each one and paste it into the dictionary and see what the pinyin is. So another trick that you kind of want to do is at a certain point, slowly stop writing down the pronunciations. It depends on the language that you're learning. Personally, I would slowly stop using the pronunciations above it, or even what the word means when you're writing it down in your book.
So what happens if you'd like to send a message to somebody, however you don't know how to word the sentence after finding out what words to use in the dictionary? Well, look it up. The next message I'd like to send to her, I need to know how to use my past tenses. So, I've looked up past tense verb uses in Chinese, and this is what I've got. So as we scroll down, we've got this random adorable picture of a Chinese girl, and then, so here's the information that we need. Okay, so a standard past tense form that we can use is this here, le, I think. And then obviously we can read about how we use le. And then it's got some examples of using le. So this is fantastic. This is everything that I need to learn how to do what it is that I want to do.
Find an app or something that you can, take around with you and do in different locations. It's like in bed or on the bus on the way to work. And what sort of app am I talking about, you might ask? Well, I'll tell you which apps I use and then maybe you can make your own decisions from there. So there are quite a few language exchange type apps that you can use. My favourite one personally is HelloTalk. However, unless you pay for a membership, you can only have one language as your language in study. Therefore, if you're someone like me who's learnt a second and then wants to learn a third, it's not the best application for you. However, I still sometimes randomly find the odd Chinese speaker on here, so I still use it. I also use it because I don't really want to lose my Japanese now that I'm back here. Also, what you might want to do is download a dictionary app, because it'd be much easier to just copy words you don't know and throw them in the dictionary, take a print screen. When you're actually at your computer, you can do all the studying stuff you wanted to do. Because the best part about doing it on a phone is you can do it anywhere. The other app I like to use is Tandem. It's not quite as interesting. The thing that's really useful about HelloTalk is that it has sort of a way of posting things, and so if you scroll through the feed of what people are posting, you can find a lot of people who are interested in the same things as you quite easily. Tandem does not have that, but on the flip side you can have as many languages as you want as the language you're learning. So as you can see here, there's some people that I've been talking to before, and one message I haven't read. And I'm going to show you why. I got a Chinese reply. It's not actually as rare as I'm making out, but this is the first time that there's been no English in the conversation. I don't have a clue what he's saying in that final message, so I didn't continue the conversation. I just wanted to show you some sort of conversation where, yeah, you can completely switch languages if you have that dictionary app and you know the basics and fundamentals of the grammar. So I have given you the tools to do the absolute lowest budget way of learning a new language. In conclusion, the internet. You need the internet and almost nothing else. Make sure you continue to write down every new piece of information that you receive. Even if you don't think that is going to be useful, it's still good to practice reading and writing your new language. Let me know in the comments if it works or if you want any more information. Like the video if you want me to do anything else similar to this. And subscribe so you know when I'm releasing it, I suppose. Thank you for watching. Here's some other things if you're interested, and yeah.